Good morning to you all, dear students. This is Mr. Rao from Exclusive NEET program. So in today's session, I would like to give you the detailed information regarding one of the most important gland in the human digestive system. In our current topic, the human digestive system, we have been studying about the various types of digestive glands. And as a part of that, in the previous sessions, I will explain about a few of the glands which are associated with the human digestive system. In today's session, I'd like to give you the detailed information regarding the liver. Coming to this liver, it is the biggest gland in our body. When you compare this gland with the rest of all the glands present in our human body, this is the biggest one. Almost all, when you happen to see the size of this gland, it is ranging in between 1.2 to 1.5 kilograms in its weight. This is the average weight of the liver. But if you happen to see the size of the liver in man and women, it differs slightly. Coming to the human being, in the women, the size of this liver is ranging 1.2 to 1.5 kilograms. Whereas in case of male, here the size of this one bit here larger than the size of the women's liver. It is ranging in between 1.4 to 1.8 kilograms. This is in case of a man. But on an average, when you happen to see this liver, we do consider this as lying in between 1.2 to 1.5 kilograms in its weight. When you see this liver, actually it is located in your abdominal cavity, upper right side, below the diaphragm. It is actually the location of your liver. See this one, the location of the liver, it is present in your upper right side of abdominal cavity. That too, it is present just below the diaphragm. It present below the diaphragm. This is the location of your liver in the human body. And when you see, actually your body is divided into three parts that you know very well. One is your head, the second one is your trunk, whereas the third part, it includes your limbs. The limbs means your both here hands as well as the legs. Coming to here, this part of your body is known as your trunk. This trunk is actually divided into two important portions that you know very well. Here, with the help of a dome-shaped muscular structure, and this part is actually known as I said, diaphragm. Right? And this diaphragm, now here is a point, separates your trunk into upper thoracic cavity, the lower abdominal cavity. And this entire portion of your body is known as thoracic cavity. In simple, we used to call it as the chest cavity or the chest region. Whereas this entire portion is known as your abdominal cavity. Abdominal cavity. Now, when you happen to see this location of the liver, as I said, here it is present upper right side below the diaphragm. This liver is present. This is exactly the location of your liver in your body. I hope you got it, right? So this is exactly the upper right side of abdominal cavity, below the diaphragm, the liver is located. Clear? Right. When you see this liver has got the two important lobes, right? So it has got the two lobes. One, it is a left lobe, whereas the second one is the right lobe. These two are lobes that you can happen to see in the liver. When you see these two lobes, which are all made up of the structural and functional units of your liver, which are known as hepatic lobules, right? So these are known as hepatic lobules. These hepatic lobules are hexagonal structures. The hexagonal structure in our body, the most important point related to this, all these hepatic lobules are the structural as well as the functional units of your liver. That is an important point. And here my point is, the hepatic lobules are different from these lobes. Lobes are 2 in their number. These 2 lobes of the liver are made up of the structural and functional units, and these structural and functional units are known as hepatic lobules. These hepatic lobules are hexagonal in their structure, right? I do show you now detailedly about the structure of your liver, that followed by these hepatic lobules. And the point is, these hepatic lobules are made up of liver cells. These liver cells are known as hepatocytes, right? The cells of the liver are known as hepatocytes. See this, each lobule, that means the hepatic lobule, is actually made up of a small cells which are known as the liver cells, and actually the entire here lobule is covered by a connective tissue membrane. That connective tissue membrane is known as Gleason's capsule. It's a very important point. Gleason's capsule is a connective tissue membrane that is present around this hepatic lobule. Very important point related to this is, this Gleason capsule is characteristic feature of mammals. Is mammals here, liver only consists of this Gleason's capsule, whereas other organisms' livers, hepatic lobules will not be get covered by this Gleason's capsule. That is an important point related to this one. Right, as I said here, this is made up of a kind of cells. In general, we used to call them as the liver cells, or else technically known as hepatocytes. Now, I will give you the detailed structure of your liver, that followed by the detailed structure of your hepatic lobule. Clear? Liver is actually reddish brown in the color, and it is the biggest gland that you know very well. And when you see this liver, the liver has got the 2 important lobules, right? 2 important lobes are present. This is actually the left lobe, and this is the right lobe, right? It's the right lobe. Point is, these left as well as the right lobes, both of them are connected with here a kind of tissue. This is known as falciform ligament. This is what we call as falciform ligament. Just above this, there you can see here the diaphragm is present. The diaphragm is a dome shaped structure that you can happen to see. And here the important point is, from this left lobe, here a vessel or a duct it arises. This duct is known as left hepatic duct. This part is known as left hepatic duct it is. Even from the right, actually the lobe of the liver also, a duct it arises, and this duct is actually known as right hepatic duct. This part is, as I said, is right hepatic duct it is. Point is, these right as well as left, both the hepatic ducts are combined together and it forms a common duct. This is known as common hepatic duct, and this part is common hepatic duct it is. Right, the liver is a gland actually at which it is associated with a pear fruit shaped sac like structure is present. This is an important part. This pear shaped here, a sac like structure that is present and associated with the liver is known as gallbladder. Thing is, whatever the bile juice is secreted by hepatic cells, they are all first initially collects into this gallbladder, and the concentration of the bile is taken place within this gallbladder. So such a kind of here structure, whatever is present, this is known as gallbladder. Right. From the gallbladder, a duct it arises. See this one. A duct that arises from this gallbladder, and this duct is known as cystic duct. Important point. The duct that arising from that is known as cystic duct. Cystic duct. And here the point is, this cystic duct, it combines with a common hepatic duct. Both of them are combines together, and the resulting of that continues as a single duct. So this single duct is known as common bile duct, or in general we used to call it as a bile duct. This is what the bile duct is. Here is the point. Meanwhile, this is a place where you can find out even the pancreas also. The pancreas is also the another leaf-like gland that you can happen to see, that you can see in this area. From this pancreas, here a duct it arises. This is what we call is main pancreatic duct. Main pancreatic duct. And here my point is, if you happen to see this pancreatic duct combines with a common here bile duct. Point clear? So this duct, what I'd like to tell you is a pancreatic duct. Pancreatic duct. And here the point is, both the pancreatic duct and common bile duct are combines together, and they do form here a common duct, and this common duct is known as hepatopancreatic duct. See this point? This is known as hepatopancreatic duct. Hepatopancreatic duct. Here the point is, this hepatopancreatic duct here simply here bulge like this and open into the duodenum. There you can see here a C-shaped here structure is present, that you know very well, which is the beginning of your small intestine, and this C-shaped structure is known as the duodenum. So here my point, whatever this duct is there, this one, it get opens into this duodenum with the help of hepatic ampulla. Right? There you can see here the structure. So this part is duodenum, right? And this portion is known as hepatic ampulla. Ampulla, and the point is, this is known as ampulla of Wetter also. Ampulla of Wetter, the another name for this. And here the very important thing, two things are present. If you happen to see this here, hepatopancreatic duct, the hepatopancreatic duct is guarded by a circular muscular sphincter is present. Very important bit it is. The circular muscular sphincter which is present and guarding this hepatopancreatic duct is known as sphincter of Oddi. This is a very important bit. Sphincter of Oddi. This one. And another important point, when you see here this bile duct, the bile duct is also here guarded by one more important circular sphincter. The circular sphincter that is guarding the bile duct is known as the sphincter of Boyden. This one. is known as a sphincter of Boyden, right? Sphincter of Boyden. So this is actually the total structure of your liver, which has got the two lobes. One is a left lobe, where the second one is the right lobe. And it is made up of the structural and functional hexagonal units, which are known as hepatic lobules. These hepatic lobules consist of the cells, and all these cells are known as hepatocytes. Hepatocytes or liver cells simply. And from the left lobe, left hepatic duct, from the right lobe, right hepatic duct, it arises. Both of them are combined together, forms common hepatic duct. Initially, the bile juice that is produced from the liver is collected in this gallbladder, and the concentrated here, the bile juice will be formed here. Later on, there you can see a pear fruit shaped sac like structure is present, which we call it as here the gallbladder. From gallbladder, a duct it arises, and this duct is known as cystic duct. Here the point is the cystic duct as well as common hepatic duct, both of them are combined together and forms a common bile duct will be formed. And this common bile duct, it joins with a main duct arising from the pancreas and forms another common duct, which we call it as Hepato-Pancreatic duct. Clear? Right. Then the Hepato-Pancreatic duct opens into this duodenum through hepatic ampulla, which is called ampulla of Wetar. Point is, Hepato-Pancreatic duct is guarding by a circular muscular sphincter, which we call it as here the sphincter of OD. Whereas the common bile duct, before it is joining into this Hepato-Pancreatic duct, it is also here guarding by one more important circular muscular sphincter that we call it as here sphincter of Boyden. Clear? This is all about here the structure of your liver. Now let us focus on the functional unit of your liver, which we call it as hepatic lobule. Detailedly let us see the structure of this hepatic lobule. As I said, the hepatic lobule is a hexagonal structure. That means it has got here 6 angles are present on it. It's an hexagonal structure, and there you can see at its corners and as I said in the beginning itself, this hepatic lobule is covered by a connective tissue membrane. A thin connective tissue membrane is present around this. This is what we call is Gleason's capsule. This what I am drawing now is the Gleason's capsule. I said very clearly the presence of the Gleason's capsule is the characteristic feature of mammalian liver. No other animal has got this Gleason's capsule. This part. At the center of this, you can happen to see the vein is present. Vein is present. This is what we call is central vein. Central vein. Then at this corner, there you can happen to see 3 vessels are present. This is known as hepatic artery it is. It is a branch of hepatic artery that you can see. There you can see even the branch of hepatoportal vein that you can happen to see there. Here this part is the branch of hepatic portal vein. a portal vein is present. At its actually the center region, there you can see one more important vessel is present. This is a branch of bile duct. This part is known as the branch of bile duct. Okay, and these three, see this point, these three combine together portal triad. This is an important part. Portal triad. All these three are combining together. The same type of arrangements you can see in these 6 angular areas. In 6 angular areas, you can see the presence of these 3 ducts. Like this. Right, there you can see even these are also. Okay, right. So when you see this one, it has got a duct. Duct is present here, and this is the branch of bile canaliculi. Canaliculus. There you can see here all the hepatocytes are arranged in the cords. Within the cords, all these hepatocytes are present. These are all the hepatocytes that what I am drawing now. And see, when you happen to see all these, they're all actually arranged in a cord manner. So these are hepatic cords. Such a kind of many hepatic cords are present. These cells are known as hepatocytes or liver cells. Hepatocytes, simply known as hepatocytes, technically known as here liver cells also, right? That is one thing. There you can see such a kind of arrangements here many places like this. There you can see even here also. Right, when you see these two, actually these two are the hepatic cords. The spacious place is present in between the two hepatic cords. The spacious place present in between the two hepatic cords is known as sinusoids. It is another important one. Sinusoids. And when you see these sinusoids, within these sinusoids, we can happen to see the specialized cells are present. The specialized cells are noticed in between these hepatic cords, which we call it as sinusoids. And these separate cells are known as Kupffer cells. Very important point it is. These are known as Kupffer cells. Kupffer cells actually known as liver macrophages or hepato macrophages. They're all macrophages. That means they are the phagocytic cells. If any disease causing pathogen it enters, generally these Kupffer cells, they do attack on the pathogens, engulf them into their cell cytoplasm, destroys them and protect your body from the effect of these disease causing pathogens. That is the reason why these Kupffer cells are known as the macrophages, hepato macrophages. Reason is the macrophages are actually tissue cells. They are all present in the areolar tissue of the animal cells. There they do attack on the pathogens and destroys them. So they also act like the macrophages but present in the liver, hence the Kupffer cells are known as Hepato Macrophages. It's a very important part to you, right? So this is all about actually the structural and functional unit of your liver, hepatic lobule, which has got the hexagonal here structure, and it is get covered by a connective tissue membrane known as Gleason's capsule. This is present only in mammals, right? And there you can see at its center, central vein is present, and at their corners there you can happen to see the branch of hepatic artery, the branch of hepatic portal vein, and the branch of the bile duct. And there all these three together known as portal triad system, right? Within this all the hepatocytes or liver cells are arranged in a cords, so they are all known as hepatic cord, and within which whatever the cells are present are known as hepatocytes. Thing is here, these actually consist of a ducts or the tubes, and these are known as bile duct, particularly here branch of bile canaliculi, and this is actually filled with a bile juice, whereas the sinusoids are all filled with the blood. Okay, this is the structural unit, right? And in between the two successive here hepatic cords, the spacious place is present. The spacious place is known as the sinusoids, which is filled with a blood, and it has got the important cells known as a Kupffer cells. These Kupffer cells are known as hepatic macrophages. This is all about your structural unit of your liver. Hepatocytes of the liver, it produces the bile juice. The bile juice that's secreted by the liver passes into the gallbladder, which is a pear-shaped sac-like structure. Within the gallbladder, the bile juice is get concentrated. Then from the gallbladder, a duct it arises. We call it as the cystic duct. This cystic duct actually combines with a hepatic duct. See this point clearly? Combines with an hepatic duct, resulting of which it forms a common bile duct will be formed. Now the bile it passes through this common bile duct, but the point is here the common bile duct it combines with a pancreatic duct. It combines with the pancreatic duct that arises from a pancreatic gland. The common bile duct as well as pancreatic duct, both of them are combined together. They forms a common duct which we call it as hepato-pancreatic duct. Is one thing. This hepato-pancreatic duct naturally opens into duodenum of your small intestine. There, this hepato-pancreatic duct is guarding by the circular muscular sphincter that we call it as here the sphincter of OD. That is an important point. Sphincter of OD. Clear? There, now we will see the composition of a bile. So bile is a juice secreted by the hepatocytes of the liver gland. This bile juice secreted by the liver is get released actually into the duodenum through hepato-pancreatic duct. When you see this actually the bile juice, it consists of here a different kind of pigments. Here the pigments that are all present within that here are, one is the bilirubin, and whereas the second one is the biliverdin. The bilirubin and biliverdin are actually here produced from the heme part of your hemoglobin of your red blood cells. Dear students, you all know very well about the structure of your red blood cell. Then the red blood cells at its here cytoplasm has got a kind of color giving pigment known as hemoglobin. This hemoglobin actually is a combination of the heme plus globin. Globin is actually the protein content. Actually the heme is the iron content. This heme get decomposed in your liver. Resulting of that, they do produce two color giving here pigments which are known as bilirubin and biliverdin. They're all, one is in a yellow color whereas the second one is in a green color. That is the reason why your bile juice actually appear to us in yellowish green in its color, right? Along with these pigments, there you can see the salts also within this bile juice. They are known as the bile salts. These bile salts majorly consist of here sodium bicarbonate, one important salt. It plays a very important role in neutralizing the acidic nature of your chyme. I said when the food in your stomach is get mixed up with a highly concentrated hydrochloric acid, then the food concentration, that means particularly the acidic nature of the food, it increases. So such a highly acidic chyme, if it enter into the duodenum, it may get a chances of damaging the wall of a duodenum. Without happening so, in order to neutralize the acidic nature of the chyme, the sodium bicarbonate present in the bile juice, it helps to us. Along with that, it has got the sodium glyco here colate, one thing, thereafter sodium tarocolate. Two important salts are there. Along with that, potassium glycocolate as well as the potassium tarocolate are also present. These are the two more important salts, right? They are potassium glycocolates as well as the potassium tarocolates. So these are all the various types of salts that you can happen to see within our bile juice. Apart from that, the bile juice has got even the cholesterol, and along with that phospholipids also present within that. So these are all the components present in the bile juice. But the very interesting point that to be noted is the bile juice, it doesn't have any digestive enzymes. Digestive enzymes are absent within the bile juice. So we can conclude that bile juice has no role in digestion of the food material, but it indirectly helps for emulsification of the fats. Fats are highly complex molecules that you know very well, and these fats are actually here break down into small here micelles by the bile juice. So the entire process of churning the fats into a small micelles is known as emulsification of fats. So this is an important bit related to the bile juice. So here we can say that the bile juice involves in emulsification of the fats, but it has no direct role in digestion of the food materials. Clear? Right. Along with that, this bile juice, it helps for activation of here the lipase. Lipase is an enzyme that acts on lipids. Right? Generally, the lipase that is released in the digestive tract is actually inactive form. In order to activate this lipase, the bile juice that helps to us. Clear? This is all about actually the composition of the bile and the functions of the bile. So in the coming session, I will explain in detail about the functions of the liver. It carries out the various functions which are very important in the human body. Clear? Thank you all.